All right. Let's start with your name.
My name is William Bennett.
And
I'm a retired Air Force Master Sergeant.
So, were you drafted or did you enlist?
I enlisted when I was 17, 1963.
17. And why did you pick the Air Force?
Because I had followed my brothers. I had two brothers that were already in when I joined.
So, being in the service is a part of your family?
Yes.
Awesome. And which war did you serve in?
I served in the Vietnam War.
What was it like when you arrived overseas?
Totally. To me, it wasn't such a big shock as most people got, because I was in Korea 2 years before that, and that was a third world country back then, and there were still remnants of the Korean War. So, and the people were poor and everything else. So when I landed in Tan Sanut on a jet airplane, mind you, okay, civilian aircraft, and it's just like we left California and was landed in Hawaii. This is nice, and landed in. Then we landed in Tan Sanut in the middle of the night to get off the airplane. All of a sudden, you're being hustled behind sandbags and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, so it was a total shock when you hit the ground. I'm thinking, yeah, good old California. I just left 12 hours ago, and here, oh no.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what was it like immediately going into, like you said, being hustled, just...
It was definitely interesting, because at that time I didn't know where I was going in the country, okay, because I was detached to an Air Force, part of an Air Force detachment on an Army base, a place called Quin Yan. And I didn't know where it was, but it was in the middle of the country from Tan Sanut. So I had to spend a couple of days there on the Tan Sanut Air Base. Well, I finally got my boarding pass for this aircraft, and it was a cargo plane, C-123, and they loaded you up, and they flew in to this country, this peninsula, Quin Yan City, was the Army base, and it was a dirt runway. Okay, it landed, dropped the tailgate off and down. I walked out, me and an Army dude walked off, pulled the tailgate up and took off. So I'm looking at, there's nothing for us, no reference of where to go. So I seen this canvas tent, hardback they called it, and I seen the Air Force guy over there. So I walked over there and I says, yeah, I'm just in country and I want to, where's the motor pool? And he said, yeah, wait here, there'll be a truck along sometime. So, where I talked to this guy, it was called Aerial Port, where planes come in and unload them with forklifts and stuff. Well, they wouldn't unload that plane dropped us and took off for another destination. Well, anyhow, when we got there, I waited. Here come this beat up old Dodge pickup truck, 4-door. I mean, it had no shocks or nothing on it. I mean, it was beat up, because the road's all washboard. And this big old Sargent in there, I only had 2 stripes then. And big burly Sargent, he got, the guy flagged him down, said, hey, he needs a ride to the motor pool. He said, okay, I'll take him around. So we go around the base and then to the towns and all this, and you see all these shanty houses, because these are people that been pulled out of the countryside and living in town. And you drive through that and you come around, so he pulls in this gate, and there's a Connex box, is a metal box that has a door on it, and it's a cargo thing they use. And there's this guy with a hood open leaning over a Jeep. That was my motor pool. Yep, the little compound, and a guy working out of a toolbox, and a Jeep in the metal building, and over here was our what I want to call it, where the first sergeant and all that was. Just one guy with a typewriter. And go in there and show him my orders. He hands me a metal helmet and an M16 and welcome aboard. And then took me outside and introduced me to my boss, which he was a 3-striper. And then And he said, well, we'll take you over where you live. And that was on the other side of the base. And we lived in it was called a MACV compound. They're like a hotel. And the Army runs it. And I was in a 3-man room. Okay, and we'd have to catch the bus every day to go back over to the motor pool. Because we didn't have that many trucks for the Air Force. And that job that we had there, we worked on the forklifts. And they also had, we took care of the trucks that took care of the loading the ammo on aircraft we had there. We had them, at that time, were prop airplanes. They were called A1Es. And they would go out and go to the firefights and stuff, and they'd come back. And these guys, we took care of the equipment. They would rearm them and everything and send them back out. So it was pretty interesting. We didn't have much to work with. I mean, yeah. But it was a different story then, you know.
What were some of the places that you traveled to while you were in service?
Oh, I've been to, first place I went to was Korea. I've been to Japan. I've been to Okinawa, Hawaii. Then on the other side, I've been to Germany and England twice. I've been to Honduras. I've been to Panama. I've been to, where else I've been? A whole lot of the stateside, because once I got out of the Air Force in 1967, I stayed there for 10 years, enjoyed the Air National Guard there in Washington, D.C. And I got into civil engineers it's like a combat thing, a readiness team. We got deployed everywhere. And we would go to different countries and then work on projects on the Air Force base for the Air Force. And then on the weekends we did humanitarian work. We would go out to a village and maybe fix a nursing home or put some boards down for steps and stuff like that. So we always, in our middle week, we always did some humanitarian stuff where we went to. Yeah.
Was there anything special that you used to do for good luck?
For what?
For good luck.
Anything special I do for good luck?
Yes.
Just behave myself.
It looks like that worked out.
Yeah.
How do people entertain themselves while you're, overseas and in a new place? How did you entertain yourselves?
Well, one thing about it is camaraderie with your other buddies and a cold beer after work. And you work 12, 14 hours a day because idle hands would get you in trouble. So they would work us 12, 14 hours a day. But that was a relief to come back and get a shower and go down to the canteen and have a cold beer if you could get ice. Yeah.
Did you stay in touch with any of the people that you served with?
Not really. Once I got out early, and most of us went to different parts of the country. So I've never ran into anybody in my 20 years in the service that I had known in Vietnam.
What was one of your proudest accomplishments when you served?
Knowing that what I did meant something. I just wasn't busy work, because a lot of people do busy work, you keep you busy. We were doing things that made a difference to the mission that we were on. Okay, it was an accomplishment. Like I said, I was in the engineers, so if we repaired something on the base that the base needed at that time to facilitate their mission, then everything worked out good.
That's all the questions I have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing.
All right, okay.